As Hitchcock once said, there is no terror in the bang, only in the anticipation of it. This is true. While there can be plenty of shock in a loud bang, there is no true fear. However, today I want to discuss a director who knows how to draw this true fear from his audience, and follow it with a bang. I thought it even more fitting to explore the craft of director James Wan, considering the release of The Conjuring 2, his latest exploration into the horror genre, and second investigation into the lives of Ed and Lorraine Warren. Though his style may not be as clear, and his name not as recognisable as the likes of the Coen brothers, Wes Anderson, or any number of frequently studied film directors active today, Wan is quite unique in his approach to horror filmmaking. Of course, any good director works alongside a good writer, and Wan's longtime friend and collaborator Leigh Whannell has provided many of the visual ideas present in Wan's films through his screenplays. The director's tactics for suspense and fear are clear within his more recent Insidious films and The Conjuring, his horror works, and the works which we will focus on for this video. Wan emphasizes that knowing when not to reveal details to the audience is just as important as knowing when to, that this can build tension and suspense just as effectively. It's this restraint that makes him such an effective horror director, and it's why Wan trumps so many of today's horror filmmakers. So many use either blatant jump scares with no build beforehand, or phony scares, the protagonist being startled by something that is only there for a cheap and easy audience reaction. Don't get me wrong, Wan often uses jump scares, as good horror directors have been doing for decades, but he does so in a way many don't. He earns them. Perhaps as a result of his background in low-budget filmmaking, Wan knows how to instill fear without having to use flashy visuals and effects-heavy shots. In Insidious, the film's most effective jump scare is not simply silence and then a face popping onto screen. Although the director's horror style is not as refined as it may be now with the release of The Conjuring 2, his strategy when dealing with jump scares is. We are given a carefully crafted build-up to the scare through a tense dream sequence of sorts, with Barbara Hershey's Lorraine Lambert then making a passing reference to the terrifying bone-clicking sound produced by the demon haunting the Lambert family, before the demon itself appears on screen behind Patrick Wilson. The Conjuring employs similar techniques during one of its most terrifying sequences. As Christine Perrin is woken by her younger sister sleepwalking in her room, the two see a demon of sorts atop the wardrobe in the bedroom, accompanied by a startling music cue. Now Wan could have simply cut to the demon with a simultaneous orchestra hit. However, he instead chose to have one of the two girls see the creature first and react for further audience engagement, then reveal it in a slow upward pan as the second girl looks upwards. This not only provides a delayed reaction from the audience, as we see the creature and are given time to react before the music hits, but it allows the audience to embody the role of the frightened teenage girl who slowly looks upwards to see the creature atop her wardrobe. Wan has often stated that the sound is as important, if not more so, than the visuals of a horror film. Nowhere is this opinion more incorporated than in the Insidious films. Long, drawn-out sequences in both movies have Rose Byrne's Renee Lambert investigating noises in her home, or simply going about her business, with ghostly figures apparent on the edges of the frame. So well hid in one case that I didn't even notice the ghost when I first saw the film. Wan has cited Steven Spielberg's Jaws as a profound source of inspiration for his films, and much like Spielberg, Wan allows this tension in his movies to build to a climax before attempting to shock the audience. This drawn-out approach to suspense occurs most effectively in Insidious Chapter 2, if we can observe the film's long, unbroken tracking shot filmed with a handheld rig, following Renee as she talks on the phone and completely unsuspecting. An unbroken take such as this, with no exterior ambience or music of any kind, allows the audience to properly pay attention, perhaps suspecting foul play of some kind. However, Wan's ability to frame shots in a way which rewards only the most attentive audience members is quite unique in this genre. As Renee passes the door frame, we are given a quick glimpse into the lounge room, where we can see a ghostly female. Strategically placed so that the light escaping through the curtains contrasts its own appearance and makes it more visible, the ghost also adheres to the ancient rule of thirds, which Wan employs so that the figure's sudden appearance is subtle yet effective. Notice here, even after this ghostly encounter, Wan does not interrupt the suspense with a musical cue to draw any attention to the scare, but simply allows the flow of the shot to continue uninterrupted, much like the way Renee passes by the ghost without noticing it. This again allows the audience to embody one of Wan's unsuspecting characters. Without even mentioning the director's other astoundingly suspenseful unbroken shots in the first Insidious and The Conjuring, or his earlier horror films Saw and Dead Silence, we have a clear image of the strategic way James Wan approaches his horror filmmaking, using a natural cohesion of visuals and audio and a focus on drawn-out suspense to build an impressive resume of terrifying films. Hopefully the director's choice to helm the 7th Fast and the Furious film last year wasn't an indication that he will be focusing his attention on popcorn flicks in the future, as he brings a truly unique touch to the genre he has become a key player in, and I know I've borrowed a lot from his approach in the making of my horror shorts. I hope we will see more carefully crafted scares in The Conjuring 2 when it hits theaters. Thanks for watching, and feel free to subscribe and suggest any more future video essay ideas in the comment section.